Hello everyone, welcome back to Breaking News Nigeria. So massive tension is building up across Nigeria as Rufai Oseni, one of Arise TV most fearless journalists, goes head-to-head with Bayo Onanuga, the special advisor to President Bola Tinubu on information and strategy. Now, the Freemason Nnamdi Kanu protest has gained massive momentum both within and outside Nigeria. Supporters of the detained IPOB leader says it's time. Over 3 years of detention without final judgment is an injustice. But the government and its spokesman insist that matter is sub judice, meaning it's still before the courts and cannot be influenced. So Rufai Oseni came with passion, fact, and a voice many Nigerians resonate with. He accused the government of double standard, pointing out that while peaceful protesters are being tear gas, arrested, and intimidated, other groups aligned with the government are allowed to demonstrate freely without harassment. Now, Rufai is saying the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu, despite several court orders for his release, undermines the rule of law. The police handling of the peaceful protest shows a pattern of repression and intolerance. Government officials must be accountable to the same constitution they swore to uphold. That's what Rufai is saying. So Bayo Onanuga, on the other hand, defended the government stance. He insisted that Nnamdi Kanu's case is a sensitive national security issue, not just a legal one. He maintained that the government is following due process and that the protesters are being instigated by political actors to destabilize the peace. He argued that no one is above the law and the court must be allowed to decide Kanu's fate, and the government cannot interfere in judicial proceedings. Anyway, guys, I love you guys to listen to what Rufai Oseni, told Bayo Onanuga, and I'm going to be right back. And please don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comment section below.
Especially after the U.S. Embassy cautioned its citizens to stay away from the protest locations in Abuja. Were you surprised that your call for a protest gained as many followers as quickly as it did?
Well, it wasn't only on social media. It happened everywhere around Abuja till we had 6.
Yeah.
IGP Ekbetokun, let me ask her, what if protesters do and where be say they treat them like animals? See that protest is no longer a fundamental human right, then we know they protest again. If you see the way when Zete beat this boy to ma, people will see I'm not believe say he survived. They were marching his head, eating him with gun. The boy would have run away, but he no say if he runs, the other person where they beat, that person not go see who go help him out. If he even forget the person, we not go know so they carry the person. So as a popular person, he stay back, follow, collect the person. In fact, they leave the person face on. Please shege come up for an eye, detain her. What did he do? Free Nnamdi Kanu. Free Nnamdi Kanu. That's all. No weapon, no wood, no nothing, just flag. IGP Ekbetokun, do you people know that some persons were not released yesterday? I'm just getting to find out. Because my own was Tuma. Tuma, where's Tuma? They must bring Tuma. Some persons were not released yesterday. Oh. They were not released yesterday. Oh. Everybody come outside. Oh. Everybody tag them. Oh. Some persons were not released yesterday. In fact, to show you how wicked these motherfuckers are, they were not kept in the regular detention facility. Maybe it's a police station now. They keep them for Bianca or keep them for say. No, they took them to the infamous SAS abattoir, where hardened criminals are kept, a place of torture. That's where they took peaceful protesters to. IGP Ekbetokun cannot intimidate us. We are not scared of you. Precious Oruche, I'm not scared of you. What you are doing is wrong. And I'll go kill anybody who support your acts of wickedness towards peaceful protesters. Yes, you have a beef with Sowore because he call you illegal IG. Because your tenure expired, they increase them magically, suddenly. If you have a problem with him, have a problem with him. We that are agitating for what we believe in, we have our rights. What you are doing looks personal. You carry on Nnamdi Kanu, brother. Welcome out for peaceful demonstration for your own brother. You keep on for SAS abattoir. You carry a lawyer. You keep on for SAS abattoir. And the 11 others, you pack all of them. You keep them where hardened criminals. Reports reaching me now and said that they carry them, they go Kuje Magistrate Court. They are taking them so that from them the alleged grand plan of remanding them in Kuje prison will be achieved. IGP Ekbetokun left for me with a man's the court. Y'all need to know we are no longer scared. Arrest now water. No, don't take them! Take the Nigerian police force! If you have the number of the Nigerian police, call him! And tell him to stop this wickedness! Give them no peace! What law have they broken? See some idiots! People will get Kanu for brain, they talk say, the case is in court, the court has said releasing Nnamdi Kanu. The court says that they don't respect the court. And when a rich poor man body, law go stand like brick. Tag the IGP! Stop this wickedness, okay? Ekbetokun! Even if na message where they send you, they use your mind and your brain. They not say life day after IGP. Not be harassed, don't die, so everybody go leave these positions.
by focusing on reactions to the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu protest in Abuja and the southeast states led by activist Omoyele Sowore. The protest brought activities to a near standstill on Monday, October 20th. Despite a court order and police warnings, security operatives fired tear gas and gunshots to disperse protesters in Abuja who were demanding the release of the detained leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra. In Abuja, the protest began near Transcorp Hilton with protesters chanting, "Free Nnamdi Kanu now."
What do we want? Free Nnamdi Kanu now! What do we want? Free Nnamdi Kanu now! Free Nnamdi Kanu! Free Nnamdi Kanu!
We are here addressing the press, exercising our right to freedom of expression, and you can see what the police, what they are doing, the way they are intimidating us as citizens of this country.
Free Nnamdi Kanu now! Don't take us off! Free Nnamdi Kanu now! Don't take us off! Nnamdi Kanu now! Nnamdi Kanu now! Nnamdi Kanu now! Let's go to beggar. Rally! Nobody, even a Fabio, cannot stop me. I would rather die than to fold my hand and keep silent. We are in democracy. We are not in military government. Even during the military government, comrades like Sowore protested. We are in democracy, so I have every right to protest. Look at it. I'm a proudly Nigerian. The same police that I, James Mike, aka Flag Boy, aka You Talk You Die, I've been protesting for them to pay them good salary. I stood at the National Assembly for days protesting for Nigerian police. All they could do is to come out and tear gas me.
Those continue to pursue their oppressors.
Amen.
This was quite intense yesterday in Abuja. Meanwhile, President Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, criticized one of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers for participating in the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest, raising concerns about professional ethics and the principle of sub judice. Onanuga, in a post on X, expressed disappointment over the lawyer's decision to join what he described as a shambolic protest, stating, and I'll pull up Bayo Onanuga's post on X there. He wrote, "I spotted Aloy Ejimako, one of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, among the small group of protesters mobilized in Abuja by Omoyele Sowore. I wonder what Mr. Ejimako was thinking when he decided to join this shambolic protest. As a lawyer, he should be aware of the principle of sub judice, particularly in relation to the ongoing treason case before the court, rather than focusing on preparing a strong case. Mr. Ejimako has resorted to extra legal tactics, joining a career anarchist." He describes Sowore as an anarchist. To influence the process, legal authorities should consider appropriate sanctions for unethical conduct of the bearded lawyer. And of course, you're laughing there, Rufai, you're laughing. You're laughing. Yes. I'll give you the opportunity. Yes, he called him an anarchist. Well, in response to Onanuga's comments, Sowore stated that there is no law against a lawyer joining a peaceful protest, and that if Nnamdi Kanu is not released, even senior advocates of Nigeria will join the protest. Let's take a look.
The lawyer is a person, and the same right are due to
if they don't release Nnamdi Kanu,
yes,
senior advocates of Nigeria will join this.
Yes.
APC police force.
Doctors will join this protest.
Yes.
No.
Even surgeons, like people who say no get time, nurses, everybody will join.
We'll join.
We're about to announce another date, and that one will be bigger. It will be the mother of all protests.
Exactly.
So they have a chance now. You know, when we were saying it, they thought it was a play. They thought it was play a few days ago when we say we are going to shut down this Abuja. Nothing happened in Abuja today. Even the judge that gave the order that we should not do protest asked us to come back today. I heard he did not sit.
He did not sit.
He couldn't make it to his office. So we are not playing. We are not playing, but we are working to get our protesters, the legally arrested protesters.
All right. He's claiming there's going to be another protest that he describes the mother of all protests, and he has yet to announce the date. But Sowore was on our nightly news program, Primetime, where he confirmed that Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Ejimako, and his brother were arrested. Rufai, I know that you want to speak on this, so I'll give you the floor. I mean, the lawyer has been arrested at this moment. Sowore is saying that the prison or the police station or where the lawyer is being kept is like a dungeon. That's what he said on Primetime yesterday.
Very sad. And please, that they should be let free. I mean, because they protested. I mean, once you arrest them, you take their findings and everything. Please just let them free. Second, the one I want to laugh about is what name did Mr. Bayo Onanuga called
Sowore?
No, there's another. He said something anarchist.
He said he's called him an anarchist.
No, I want the exact name because I want to laugh very well.
Is it persistent analyst? Was it persistent?
Is it persistent anarchist? I want the exact word because that word is really intriguing to me. You know what? I want the exact word.
Tell me.
In the 90s, when Sowore was protesting at the university, and Mr. Bayo Onanuga with his paper was supporting Sowore there because the protests, they were all together. Sowore was not an anarchist then. No. When they were all together, didn't Sowore come out recently to say that even Mr. Bayo Onanuga played a fundamental role by supporting the career anarchist? So when they were protesting against June 12th, that Mr. Bayo Onanuga was part of against the military, Sowore was not a career anarchist then because the protest supported them. The likes of Mr. Bayo Onanuga giving Sowore coverage in his paper then, he was not a career anarchist then. So it is today now that Mr. Bayo Onanuga now remembers because he's in a government that they are presenting that is opposing what you want. It's today he remembers. This Nigeria will bust your mind, please. You know sometimes they say. You know sometimes they say, if you live long enough in this country, you will see rubbish. You see, the truth has to be said. When interest does not align, these are the things. These are people I respect so much. Bayo Onanuga. You know why I respect this man? He had so much fundamentals then. He was told to come and apologize for something. About a story or something. He said never.
You mean Bayo Onanuga's
yes, back in the 90s. No, I'm talking. No, it's not now. I'm saying history.
Okay.
Back in the 90s. That's why they left Concord. And they went to set up the news then. Him and the great Baba Femi Ojodu, they were told to come and apologize. I said, no, we're not going to put in a word. They stood for their conviction. I will still always remember and respect Mr. Bayo Onanuga for that. Because they were those that were in the midst of struggle in this country. But today, like I asked, what changed? It's the same better Nigeria these guys are protesting for that you, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, protested for them. Now you are slamming the lawyer. When them Ganifa were me and them Femi Falana were protesting them, marching for June 12th, you didn't remember to report them to the NBA then because you are on the same side. Now that it has changed now, you say the lawyers, the Ejimako and the likes are sub judice. Oh, let's go into the itinerary of sub judice. You know how many matters that are sub judice that people prognosing? All we are calling for is sanity in this process. I have not said everything Nnamdi Kanu did was right, but I'm calling for fairness. A court of appeal, I said, leave this man. Even the Supreme Court judgment to overturn all of this. There was one dissenting judge. Igbo leaders went to President Buhari, asked for political solution. And we are hearing dragging of this case, dilly-dallying, here and there. And people come out to protest because it's a national matter. And we are casting aspersions on them. This is the same Mr. Bayo Onanuga that we used to read all this articles. I used to press the neck of them Obasanjo, the any small thing, bumper to bumper with the news.
Yes.
But what changed? That's what we ask.
All right. I mean,
so if you live long enough in this country, you will see a lot too.
Speaking about the protests, we also saw pockets of protests in southeast states. However, major streets in Enugu were deserted on Monday as many residents opted to stay off the streets in solidarity with the ongoing demonstrations. Government offices were open, but activities were minimal, while commercial banks, schools, shops and malls remained closed with no movement of commercial vehicles. The protests Coincidence with the 5th anniversary of NSAS demonstrations added symbolic weight to the day, highlighting ongoing tensions around detention, justice, and citizens' rights to peaceful assembly in Lagos. The executive director of Enough is Enough Nigeria, Yemi Adamalekun, was stopped and assaulted by security officers while attempting to lay flowers in honor of the victims of the 2020 NSAS protests. The incident has sparked widespread condemnation on social media. The video shared by News Central TV showed Ademalekun being confronted by security personnel who prevented her from performing the symbolic act at the memorial site. Let's take a look. It was completely unacceptable. The Lekki toll gate has become a symbol site for remembrance of the NSAS victims, where Nigerians annually commemorate those who reportedly lost their lives during the October 2020 protests. This incident raises questions about the right to peaceful remembrance and freedom of expression in public spaces. I'll take some reactions on X. This person actually posted on Instagram, stating, "It's painful to watch this. She only came to pay respect, yet she was treated like an enemy. When will we learn that power should serve the people, not crush them? They fear remembrance because truth exposes guilt. No one should be assaulted for honoring the victims." Well, Deji Adeyoju also condemned this. He wrote on X, "I condemn the harassment of notable human rights activist Yemi Ademalekun of Enough is Enough Nigeria by the ever senseless security agents who have no respect or regard for human rights in Nigeria." And that's the actual point. Who authorized this move, actually? Because I will really doubt that this was an order that you should have no one in that area. I mean, I don't know if you have gotten any response from the Lagos state government as to why this happened to Yemi. She was just going to lay flowers.
Yes. I actually called earlier on that we need a statement and a response from the Commissioner of Police, because she mentioned, as Yemi Adamalekun mentioned, that he drove past the toll gate to the convoy of about 15 vehicles yesterday. And she saw that the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, Commissioner of Police Olohundare, that's Jim Olohundare. And so we need to understand whether if this is the protocol as order given to the police to contain or to maintain peace and order in the state. But before I come fully to Yemi Adamalekun's story, OJ, let me just say two statements on Nnamdi Kanu's one. Number one is that the government is actually succeeding in making him a hero. And a number of people have said that they might not necessarily agree with all that he stands for, but by denying him access to justice, they are actually making him a hero. And a lot of people who stand against unfairness and injustice are coming out to speak against it. The second is that Nigeria has lost too much as a result of his consistent incarceration and the lack of respect of this government of the rule of law. I say this because we have lost so much money with the sit-at-home order every Monday in the Southeast, which could have been averted, because the same treatment given to bandits and terrorists in the north who actually committed crimes, who actually killed people, whereby they granted them amnesty and they are negotiating with them, and someone who is allegedly a terrorist is starkly different. And this is the selective justice that Nigerians are crying out for. What I want to just say as a sound of warning is that let us not let this thing get out of hand. We've seen the day of protest. It means that the people are not backing down. There's only as much as you can push people back against the wall, but let the government do right and obey court orders with regards to Nnamdi Kanu. This cry has gone on for too long. Now let's move on to what happened yesterday at the toll gate. I said earlier, when we were speaking privately, about the fact that I believe that the police is actually misunderstanding their role in society in terms of protecting lives and property, because it feels as if their brief is to protect the lives and property of a few, or the government, as it were. So it's now the police and the government against the people, whereas the duties are set out in the Constitution means protection of lives and property of Nigerians. But what we see is that there's this antagonism against the people of Nigeria, especially when there's peaceful protests. What could one woman have done that about 3 or 4 man-o-war operatives came to, okay, 2 of them accosted her. Then she said that whilst they were doing this, 4 armed policemen approached her, and then 2 of them were asked to escort her and the lady that was taking the picture off the grounds. We can see the video there. And the highlight of this is that what one of them said to her, a female policewoman who was there, according to what she said, is that they said, "Are you not enjoying the peace as you have it now?" And then you ask the question, what kind of peace are we talking about?
Peace of the graveyard.
Peace of the graveyard, where peace means that the people are silenced and we are like robots according to what the government says, and you deprive the people of their constitutional guaranteed right to peaceful protest. Is that the peace that Nigeria or this administration wants? Where the people's voices are silenced. That's not the peace that we are looking for. And so when they keep saying, "Oh, let's keep peaceful," what is the definition of peace? She had a right to go there to lay wreaths. She was not even protesting peacefully because she said a number of people that were called to come out to protest were afraid. This is what we have done to the Nigerian youths. We have caused them to be afraid, to stay back and gradually silencing their voices. Is this the legacy of this administration? This Democrat that has been praised for his play and his role in the democracy that we enjoy today, now depriving young people today of the same rights that he enjoyed. And I'm talking about the Tinubu administration now. So I just want to say that, number one, the police has to rethink its strategy in how it manages its affairs with civilians, civilians as well, how it manages its affairs, and the right to peaceful protest. Then this thing around, once you see people gather, they are jittery. Why? Yeah. As long as they are not violent, no need to use tear gas, no need to fire bullets, even though the police spokesman came out to say that, oh, they didn't fire, but we heard the gunshots. Yeah. And so what we are asking for is that let the police do right. We've asked for police reform, let there be an actual reform, and let the people feel protected by the police, and not as if the police is taking sides with the government again.
Expectedly, predictably, the Nigerian police fired tear gas and some reports say live ammunition and occupied major roads here in Abuja to stop peaceful demonstrations called to protest against the continued detention for more than 7 years of the separatist leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who's on trial facing terrorism charges. In the Abuja city centre, heavily armed police, supported by soldiers in a massive show of force, patrolled with water cannon and armoured trucks, firing volleys of tear gas wherever they saw protesters trying to gather. Mr. Kanu leads the banned Indigenous People of Biafra movement, or IPOB, a group that advocates for the secession of southeast Nigeria. Mr. Kanu's supporters say his detention in the last decade is politically motivated. They want him released and the 7 counts of terrorism against him, to which Mr. Kanu has pleaded not guilty, quashed.
Nnamdi Kanu was first arrested in October 2015 upon his return from the UK. He was later released on bail in April 2017 on health grounds. Later that year, his trial was disrupted when soldiers invaded his home in Abia State, leading to the deaths of some of his followers. Mr. Kanu subsequently fled the country, but was rearrested in Kenya in June 2021 and extraordinarily renditioned to Nigeria. In April 2022, the Federal High Court struck out 8 of the 15 charges against him, citing a lack of merit. Later, in October 2022, the Court of Appeal ordered his immediate release and quashed the remaining charges. However, a year later, the Supreme Court overturned that decision, allowing the federal government to continue his trial on the remaining counts. Mr. Kanu's continued detention has sparked growing public outcry and renewed calls for his release, culminating in today's protest. Rita Osakwe, Arise News.
So, after today's demonstration, will there be more protests, or perhaps a protest epiphany, a eureka moment that will lead to Mr. Kanu's release? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the main organizer of today's Free Nnamdi Kanu protest, the political activist and former presidential candidate, Omoyele Sowore. And I'm also joined by the public affairs analyst, Mazi Nnamdi Dixon Iregu, who is both a member of the People's Democratic Party and an obedient, and who took part in today's demonstration. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
You look a bit red-eyed there. I wonder why.
Well, it's been a lot of tear gas inhalation today and a lot of attacks by the Nigerian police. So I haven't done anything else today than just protest. And we also ended up at the FCT command of Nigerian police to get some of the lawyers, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's main lawyer was arrested, and lawyer Jima, because his younger brother was arrested, and 11 others. We went to see them, and they gave us a hope, false hope, that they'll be released tonight. But we found out on our way here that they'll be moved to the place they call Abattoir, which is one of the reasons why there was NSAS in 2020. It's a major torture chamber of the Nigerian police. So they also tear gassed us right in front of their office this evening.
So more than 7 years in detention, almost a decade in fact, and he's still not been found guilty of any crime. And your contention is that in line with the Nigerian constitution, which says that a man is innocent until proven guilty and which calls for the speedy dispensation of justice, it's time to set this captive free. Is that a fair assessment and the reason you led today's protest?
Yes, it is because also the Court of Appeal in 2022 did take a decision, a decisive decision, that having been extraordinarily renditioned from Kenya, kidnapped is the other word for it, there are no charges that can hold in that court, and he was asked to be released. That judgment ought to have taken effect immediately was given, but the Nigerian government did not honor that judgment. They claimed they were going on appeal. An appeal does not constitute a stay when personal liberty is involved. He's been discharged. There's nothing that could have held him except to get a brand new detention order, which they didn't, because they were not interested in any trial. They were interested in subduing and subjugating Nnamdi Kanu for committing a crime against the real estate called Nigeria, which is to say, look, we may want to think about our own country, considering that this country has no respect for our dignity, our culture, and our safety. So I have laid this out before, and I have also looked at the case notes. I worked with the lawyers. I am in a position to tell you when I see a useless case, because I get charged severally for this kind of frivolous cases. Nnamdi Kanu is not being held for committing terrorism. No, he's being held because he is an Igbo man who wants Nigeria to either allow justice to the Igbo man or let the Igbo man be. That is the crime Nnamdi Kanu committed. It's a crime committed with a microphone, not an AK-47.
Right. Okay, I'm going to come back to you in a minute, but Mazi Dixon, I wonder what your reaction, because you kind of lost your voice.
Yes,
there.
I did.
I wonder what your reaction is to the fact that the march that you attended was tumbled, let me put it that way, by the police. They fired tear gas to disperse the protesters, and you apparently fell victim to that show of force and to that tear gas. And clearly, I wonder whether that cast a shadow on things for you, how much it did cast a shadow.
Charles, please permit me first of all to commend my brother here, Sowore. I was born 7 years after the Civil War, and for the first time in my adult life, I felt loved as an Igbo man by other Nigerians. Another Nigerian took it upon himself to say enough of this balkanization of fatherland.
Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, isn't it?
But that's what it is.
Igbos are across the country doing business and attending to their affairs.
That is earned by merit. I'm talking about someone sacrificing his own liberty to say there's a brother in there, because an injury to one should be an injury to all. If we are to build our country, then indeed we must have that understanding that together we should, not by letting some people out of this whole process. So, my brother Sowore, thank you Thank you for showing love to a fellow countryman. Because it's difficult. Look at what Nigerians are going through.
But to be fair to Sowore, he's shown that same love to
No. I'm talking for myself as an Igbo man. Okay. Because the case here is that Nnamdi Kanu being incarcerated today is simply because he comes from that part of Nigeria. Because what's his crime? It's not just about, oh, you're not treating my people fine or not treating my people well. It's also about, this is not how to build a nation. So if we can't build this nation the way it should be, then please, we can't stay here. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you think there's something wrong with it, call him to the table and discuss what are the issues. Okay, if you're not comfortable, what can we do better to ensure that some of those grounds of yours can be addressed and all that. So sincerely, today again, being that it was peaceful, because it was well declared by the convener of this very protest, that it is a peaceful protest. And it was peaceful. But go around Abuja. If this was how the Nigerian police force was tackling insecurity in our country, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be discussing insecurity in Nigeria. Nobody could move. We just assembled, and before you knew it, they started, not just tear gas, live bullets were released. Not just at one location. Even when we now said, okay, since you have stopped us from convening around this so-called big men area, we're moving to the people. We moved from there to Bega, roundabout, and then from there we moved to, they came there and moved us to Otako. They still came that way, tear gassed and all of that, and then moved also to Apo and all that. You now wonder, what is it that the Nigerian government really wants from the Nigerian people? Right. For us to be violent? Is it because we decided to be peaceful? Right. So indeed, it's unfortunate that this is the country that we find ourselves, but it cannot continue this way.
Well, Mr. Sowore, let me come back to you. The protests obviously gained a lot of traction on social media. You're very influential on social media and beyond, and it probably alarmed the government. Especially after the U.S. Embassy cautioned its citizens to stay away from the protest locations in Abuja. Were you surprised that your call for a protest gained as many followers as quickly as it did?
Well, it wasn't only on social media. It happened everywhere around Abuja. We had 6 spots where we had thousands of people converge in march. We were at Utako, we were at Apple, which has the largest crowd.
Turnout, yeah.
We were at Gudu, and we then relocated to the FCT command where we were tear gas, but we were attacked ruthlessly everywhere we went. What these people are telling you is that you cannot be a peaceful person in Nigeria and get away with it. Yeah. You can only be violent and get away with it, because if we were terrorists or bandits, as they call them, we could have been walking around Abuja today with ammunition and nobody would come near us. But fortunately or unfortunately, people like me have chosen a non-violent approach to resolving issues. But that doesn't mean that a generation is not coming that will not accept this nonsense.
But I mean, you know that what happens when these protests take place is that they tend to metamorphose into something bigger, and the government knows that beyond the specific case of Nnamdi Kanu, you and other opposition politicians, he's an opposition politician, you often intend to wake up the spirit of the masses who say, you know, they're fed up with bad governance. I mean, your movement, by the way, is called Revolution Now.
Yes, and I won't deny that. In fact, I think the traction around this particular protest was beyond just Nnamdi Kanu. People are fed up with the system, and they cannot deal with the fact that somebody who hasn't committed any offense known to law, an offense that is triable, that's the way I'll put it, is held in detention. Whereas that same week, the president is pardoning drug dealers, kidnappers, and murderers, and Nnamdi Kanu, who you can't establish any offense against, is kept perpetually detained, he's tortured, he's harassed, his lawyers his lead lawyers were speaking, is in detention.
I have to say that the time is ridiculously long.
Yes.
I mean, upwards of 7 years in detention. I mean,
So
it doesn't make any sense at all.
You see, the larger Nigerian nation is itself an open prison. I spent 5 years here over a bowl.
So sort of Gaza.
Yeah,
That was
but Gaza is better than Nigeria in some ways.
I wouldn't go that far, to be honest.
Gaza, throughout this period of bombardment, had electricity. so I heard some kind of water supply that you can't get here. The sewage was. I am not in any way saying this, so you don't misunderstand me in the future. But Nigeria is, you can't even define what is wrong with Nigeria. It's like a nation that is at war, with itself and against itself. Yeah. And when you see this happen, what we have experienced with Nnamdi Kanu, with terrorists walking around, the federal government even went and attended the naming ceremony of one of the bandits after they met in Katsina. You would ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I in a country like this? And that is probably why most people call Nnamdi Kanu a prophet, that he saw into the future that this country is not the kind of country you want to have your children in. And there's nothing wrong if you want your own country. This international law recognizes that. If I declare Sowore a republic tomorrow, what are you going to do to me? Arrest me and detain me perpetually? No, it is not done. So what we're saying here, when you see injustice, you know it, and you don't need to be told that the way and manner injustices are handled in Nigeria have colorations. Sometimes it may not be ethnic, but it might be religious, it might be political. I was around throughout Abiola's persecution. Abiola did not declare more than saying, I'm president because I won an election. He died in detention. They kept saying, we were fighting in those days, Abiola is in detention, Abiola is being handled by the courts, it's being handled by the court. He wasn't being tried. The Supreme Court had gone on break. So the same thing that I'm alarmed, and I'm saying this to anybody who is watching, I'm alarmed, I'm shocked that we are in a country where there's anybody who feels what is being done to Nnamdi Kanu is okay. And I say this particularly of my Yoruba brothers who make these comments. Some of them even have the audacity to send me messages personally. They'll be sending you all these videos, because your brother is in power. But I was the only person when Sunday Igboho's house was raided and all his people were, including his cat, was killed. I was the only person in this Abuja who went to the Federal High Court who pushed the DSS out of the front of the courtroom. And that was the day his people were granted bail. Nobody talked about it. Yeah. There are Yoruba activists who went and invaded a radio station in Ibadan. Have you heard about them anymore? Even Sunday Igboho, my brother, is back. He's actually, he's moving around freely. Nnamdi Kanu has never carried a weapon before. Most of these guys have done things like that. Why are we treating the Igbo man differently? And I'm not saying that to whip up something, because I'm ashamed, of course, of these Southeastern leaders. Because when I was on your show last time, you remember, I was saying that Nnamdi Kanu is being kept in detention deliberately by Southeastern politicians. They showed themselves in the last few days. The deputy speaker was asking people not to join peaceful protests. All the governors kept quiet about it. The Ohaneze Ndigbo person, I heard is a wicked version of Ohaneze Ndigbo. He's saying that nobody should go out to fight for the freedom of a person who is innocent of any crime. And we are here saying it is normal. It is normal. Even the policemen who were shooting at us today were fighting for them a month ago to get their pension and gratuity. They were the ones shooting at us. They saw me today, came close to me, and they were shooting directly at me. 4 times today. The policemen I fought for. There's something wrong with this country, sir.
Let me ask you this, Dixon Irebu. If Nnamdi Kanu is released today, do you believe that it will stop his group from calling for the Southeast to secede from Nigeria, assuming that is the issue? Or is it something that is beyond him alone, and therefore he should not be held entirely responsible for it? Because I think somebody made the point earlier today that you had the Biafra war before him, and of course groups like MASOB, etc., before IPOB.
Yeah. If Nnamdi Kanu is released today, first what it will bring is a separation from the call for secession or for the call for Biafra away from the criminals who have wrecked the Southeast today. What we want is to redeem the most peaceful part of Nigeria, which Southeast used to be before 2015 that APC took over government and Buhari continued with whatever, Buhari started with whatever it is that he had against the Southeasterners. But we thought, okay, Tinubu has come. What is he doing there? If he wants to unite the country, why not bring everybody's interests to the table? So release of Nnamdi Kanu may not necessarily end call for secession or call for Biafra. Biafra is no more about secession, really. Biafra is now more like a religion. Because, Charles, 3.5 million Nigerians were slaughtered in that war. There is no household in Igbo land today you go to that you won't have one person or the other that was lost in their family. So it will be difficult, therefore, to forget Biafra. What will bring about an end to the call for secession will be this country allowing for equity for all, justice for all, fairness for all. That is what will end any form of secession, whether it is Yoruba nation or Biafra nation. I am not part of call for any nation at all. I believe in Nigeria, but not this kind of Nigeria. I want a Nigeria where everybody can at least go to court, ask for justice, and get it. But now it is the highest bidder. We're not running democracy anymore in our country, because if this was democracy, freedom of association and protest as we had today and all of that would have been allowed. What we have are plutocrats who are afraid of the people, because today we saw how scared the elites are. They are scared stiff. They don't want us to get together to indeed demand for our common good. So I am only saying that releasing Nnamdi Kanu so that the criminals can be treated as criminals, so that people will not be committing the kind of crimes that we're seeing in the Southeast in the name of Nnamdi Kanu. And I don't think, if the commander-in-chief really understands what he's commanding, I don't think he should continue to give deaf ears to the call for the release of.
People want to go. Yes. Because I cannot imagine that in 2025, under a democratic government, I will be tear gas for participating in peaceful protests. You have been on the street for these police officers. Yes. Who have been complaining. No, I don't fight so that people will appreciate me. I fight because my conscience tells me I'm doing what is right. You understand? Okay. Even as I'm speaking with you, the lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu is being pushed into the cell. His younger brother is being pushed to the cell. And we are warning the new commissioner of police, because I heard he was brought purposely to come and do this, that he will be disgraced like those who came before him in this application. He must release Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, and his brother, Fineboy Kanu, immediately. Otherwise, we will mobilize everybody down to that FCT. And it will be very, very unfortunate if he doesn't do that. Free Nnamdi Kanu now! Free Nnamdi Kanu! Free Nnamdi Kanu! Free Nnamdi Kanu! Yes, that's why we are here. And well, today was massive success. The only thing is that we are going to announce a new date again. And that one will be, they have seen now that we can shut down this Abuja. And you know Abuja, not even the Federal High Court, where we're supposed to go and defend our case today, sat. Because everywhere was shut down. And we are happy that Umma here shut down. Massive protests everywhere. So Tinubu better understand now that we are not joking, we are not playing.
It's in a rat race, if we call it that, since morning up on we said that the police and the security agencies were particularly looking for not just you or other organizers of the protest. It am ironic that you're standing right now, right here in front of the court, because that yet nobody.
Each time I get arrested, I volunteer myself. There's never a time the police wanted me that I did not show myself, make myself available. They are not looking for protesters or organizers. They are trying to crack down on organizers. And I know the reason. The new guy they just brought, they call him Mila Dantawaye, is trying to please Tinubu and the illegal IG here. and Wike. That's why he's doing this. But we have said this. We have seen worse policemen before. I see them. Some of them in my university days. They are the same people we are fighting for who are retired now. No gratuity, no pension. So they'll be doing bad things to your people. One day you will face the consequences.
Yeah. What's the assurance for the safety? You see that they're going to announce a new date for another protest. What assurance of the safety although they will come out for the protest again? See what happens.
We will discuss that when we get there.
Innocent Nigerians that we are having their peaceful protest.
The IG to release all
they
this.
said that they have court order that we should not be in the central area. We left central area, we went to Otako side. They used tear gas and rubber bullets to attack innocent Nigerians. Those of them in Apo who are protesting, they have arrested all of them, including Nnamdi Kanu's Lego team. They have been arrested. We went to FCT Police Command. They said no, that is a national issue. In fact, the PRO there was very rude. I must say it. He was very, very rude. He was insulting me. I know that girl is not qualified to be a house help. So after the insult, he said that I should come here. He contacted the first PRO, CSP Benjamin. I've been calling him. The CSP Benjamin said that we should come. I've been here now calling him. I will ask them at the gate. They said that we should call him. I don't know whether he doesn't pick the call. He's not saving his phone. I've sent him a text. We are here now. You cannot. Those people. Those people cannot sleep in any cell in Nigeria. Never. This is not Banana Republic, for goodness sake. You can't say because you have few years to be here and you are acting as if you are in Banana Republic. People who have seen police officers. Where is that presumed innocent? Not even Idris. The one whose eyeglass is bigger than his achievement. The other one, Idris, Haruna, name them, Suleiman Abba. They have all gone.
Do you think that the point has been made, that the message has been?
We continue to deliver the message because Mr. President is a product of protest. I participated in a protest with him there in Ojota. He's a product of protest, for goodness sake. Had it been that Jonathan refused to hand over, heaven will not fall. Heaven will not fall. If Jonathan said I'm not handing over, not heaven will not fall, but he handed over for peace to reign. Had it been that Buhari did not come and hand over, will you be a president? Why do you want to destroy the system because you are the president? A Democrat like you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'm highly disappointed. As a student, I participated in several protests with you. Why should you want to kill people because they are protesting? Peaceful protests. Look at police officers. I went out the people protesting for police officers, their welfare. And I'm highly supported to police officers. Go and ask those that intimidated people. Look at how their life is. They give you bullets. Can't you use their brain? You are targeting people.
Shooting like
must you shoot? Can't you do eye service?
For your salary.
They will use you and they retire.
For your salaries to be increased.
So guys, I'm sure you guys have listened to what Maxwell Okpara as well as Rufai said about Nnamdi Kanu. Now, in my own opinion, I feel Rufai Oseni spoke the mind of many Nigerians. The free Nnamdi Kanu has gone beyond politics. It's about principle, fairness, and the soul of the justice system. If a man has been granted bail and several courts have ordered his release, continuing to detain him undermines public trust in governance. It tells citizens that the rule of law applies selectively, and that is dangerous to democracy. Meanwhile, Bayo Onanuga represents a government under pressure, trying to manage a situation that has become both legal and political. But the truth remains, ignoring lawful court rulings is a constitutional violation. You can't build peace by suppressing voices. You build peace by listening, engaging, and obeying the law. That is it. That's one thing that many people don't understand. And the worst part of it is that everybody is watching. The whole wide world is watching. America is watching. Many people are watching what is going on in Nigeria, how the peaceful protests that happened in Nigeria, the police people started tear gassing, and peaceful protesters trying to deny them their fundamental human rights. And this is actually bad. Like, guys, that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts below. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, do hit the subscribe button, like and share this video, and turn all notifications on, able to get all the latest news in this channel, especially when we drop new videos of what is happening in Nigeria as well as Nnamdi Kanu. So guys, thanks for watching. See you guys in my next live section.